everybody. It's jumping on. Got some, getting ready to make some peanut butter fudge. If you're just jumping on, we're getting ready to make the peanut butter fudge, but I wanted to finish up. I just went live earlier with the chocolate fudge, and I showed y'all that, and I'm going to show you what it turned out to be. And then I had another idea. You know, I just get these ideals jumping in my head all the time. All right, so y'all seen that I made that batch of fudge, and we poured it in these little pans I had. These are little baking pans. Just small, little loaf pans they're called. And I actually had 6 of them. So, I lined the pan with parchment paper so it will, when it cooled off, it'll be easy to pull out. Now, I probably didn't need that big of a strip, but that's what it turned out to be. So, I told y'all when it cooled off, we were going to pull this up out of here. And then that would leave us with a nice block of fudge. So now this block of fudge, I got a little scale here, so I'm just curious to see how much this block weighs. I'm going to put it on here. This is 8.5 ounces. So about a half a pound is in this block. So that's a good little treat to hand somebody. All right, so then I was wondering how in the world am I going to package them up. So I happen to have a bunch of these little bags. You know, I guess they're called like treat bags. And I have a whole bunch of them because one time I was somewhere and they were marked down and they were clearance and they were like 10 cents a pack or something. So I bought a bunch of them. So what I'm going to do is take one of these bags out. And they come with little ties that you can tie them up and little gold labels. You can label them, like who it's for or whatever. But I'm going to take one of them little bags out. And I'm going to take this block of, now this is still the chocolate fudge. This live is going to be showing y'all how to make peanut butter fudge. But in the meantime, I'm showing you the end result of the chocolate fudge. So I'm taking that block and I'm just going to slide that right down into this little bag I got, this little treat bag. And then I'm just going to throw that parchment paper away. I just used that to pick it up with, so I didn't have to be touching it. And then you take this little treat bag and just tie it up at the top. And I think that will be a good little way to hand these out to people. Let me know if y'all think this is a good idea. I was going to put it in a baggie, and I thought, that's so ugly. I don't want to just put it in a baggie. And then I remembered I had these little treat bags. So there you go. There's the block of wood. There's the block of fudge. All right, I got 2 of them done right here. So I'm just going to set these to the side over here. Now I need these little pans, so that's why I'm getting them out of here, because I'm going to reuse the little pans for the peanut butter fudge. Okay, let's grab another block. And now this block ended up being fat. Let's see how much it weighs. That one is 9.75 ounces. So that's a good block there. Try to show y'all up close the block of fudge. All right, we're going to drop this one down in this bag. Tie it up. Let me get these out here. I don't want to have to spend all day tying these up in front of y'all, but so you get the gist of it. We'll tie these around. And then Tony can take and hand these out to some people at the Christmas Eve service. He's got a few people lined up he's wanting to give fudge to. All right, so I'm just going to lift these other ones out right now. And I'm just going to set them aside to continue to cool, because I need these little trays Alright, so we'll just set all our trays back over here because we're going to use them again. And I think they still got some butter in the bottom of them, so I'm not even going to have to butter them again. So what I'm going to do is I got my parchment paper here. I tore this off and I cut it into 3 strips, so I did it twice. So we're going to put this back down in here again like this. I might have to butter to get this thing to stick. Put a little bit of butter there in my parchment paper. Or you can also put water, I guess, to make your parchment paper stick. Alright, so I'm going to get these out of the way. I'm going to get these trays lined up because we're ready to start on our peanut butter fudge. If you're with me, I got my big pot. And I told y'all this was from Pampered Chef. It's the wok. It's a big old wok. I like this because it's easy. This coating on here slides out. And it's got a nice handle on it. So somebody said that they would wrap it in saran wrap before they put it in that bag. Okay, I could probably do that on the next bags. Alright, so this is my big pot. I'm going to turn the fire on about 6 or 7, and I'm going to put a stick and a half of butter in here. Without the paper. Make sure you get all that paper off. Alright, a stick and a half of butter. There we go, stick and a half. I'm going to put that on there, let it start melting. I'm going to open up 1 small can of evaporated milk. This fudge is really easy to make. Well, I mean, we boiled it. When it started boiling, we boiled it 5 minutes. But I always use a candy thermometer. If you use a candy thermometer, it will turn out. Alright, we're going to pour the can of milk. Small can of evaporated milk in with our butter. And let that start. The butter's going to melt. Milk's going to get hot. Alright, let me set that over there. And we're going to need 3 cups of sugar. So I'll go ahead and put that in. All right, that's the only thing that goes in that gets cooked right there. I always use a rubber spatula. This is from Pampered Chef also. These are really nice that you can get them really hot and they will not melt. Y'all, one time I had a cheap spatula and I went to stir gravy and that thing melted in the gravy pan. So I don't buy cheap spatulas anymore. This ounces of milk. This is the small can. This is 5 ounces. 5 ounces of carnation milk. All right, let me go ahead and start stirring this over here. I'll bring y'all over. Start stirring it there. Let me see if I can tip this down a little bit. Y'all know this tripod of mine. I go moving it around and it wants to flip off my camera. All right. So, we're just going to start stirring this. Get that butter to melt. And when this comes to a boil, you're going to boil it for 5 minutes. Or I'm using a candy thermometer. This is called a candy deep fry. I would recommend, if you ever make fudge, to get you one of them off of Amazon. It's called the candy thermometer. That's the only time I use it unless I make hard candy, and then you got to get that to a certain temperature too. All right, our butter is melting here. I don't put my thermometer in until this thing starts boiling for a couple minutes because it's easier to stir without that on there. All right, I'm gonna get my marshmallow cream ready. As soon as this boils 5 minutes, we're gonna add 1 7-ounce container of marshmallow cream. We're gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla, and we're gonna add peanut butter. Now you can use peanut butter chips. You can buy a bag of peanut butter chips, but I think they're kind of expensive, and then you gotta melt them, so that's a hassle. So I buy just a big old thing of peanut butter and I scoop out, and that's about how much. I weighed this. This is 12 ounces, and it come out to be about 1.5 cups or 1 2/3. So if you can't guess it, I'd say at least 1.5 cups of peanut butter. And that's what's going to make the peanut butter fudge. And if you want nuts in your fudge, you can add any kind of nut you want at the end, or you can buy crunchy peanut butter. And there you have it. Your nuts are already in it. All right, we're going to stir this up here. Y'all can see my butter's, it's almost melted. I got my stove on about an 8. Mine goes up to 10. I got it on about an 8. And in the meantime, while that's getting ready, I got to get my parchment paper here, over here in my little pans. So we got to get our little pans lined up, because once that comes out, you got to be quick about it. So what I did was just butter the bottom of this. Some of it's got a little bit of chocolate flakes in it. Just butter the bottom. And we're going to put a strip of this parchment paper down in it. And that's just helping me lift it out easy. It might lift out all by itself, but I don't want to take a chance. So I'm just putting that in the bottom of each one. I just cut me 6 pieces off of here. And this peel right off. Because when that fudge gets done, you got to move quickly to get it in these pans so it don't harden up. All right, it's boiling. I'll set the timer for 5 minutes just to see kind of what it's doing here. Can y'all see me on the camera okay? I'm just going to leave the camera over there and let you see from a distance. You'll be able to see what it's doing. I'll bring you over one more time while it's cooking. It's got to cook for 5 minutes. But you can see there. And I always have my other stuff lined up. There's my vanilla, my marshmallow cream, and my peanut butter. So as soon as this boils for 5 minutes or gets to 234 degrees, we are going to quickly put that stuff in. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this thermometer on here, so I can see it. Now I was wanting to flip around there. I'll make sure that thing stays on there. All right, I'm going to put my, y'all see what it's doing there, and I'm just going to stir it. So I'm going to set my camera right back here so you can kind of see from a distance, because I don't want this thing to mess up. You only got one chance. So you got to keep stirring it while it gets to 234 degrees. All right, I'll keep you posted. It's at 210 right now. It's about 2:28. It's almost showtime, y'all. All right, it's almost up to 2:30. Alright, it's just boiling over here. You can see my timer, it's down to almost 2 minutes. I think it started boiling a little bit before I turned the timer on. But so if you just bring it to a boil and watch it boil for 5 minutes, I think you'll be alright. If you don't have the candy thermometer. Alright, we are almost there, y'all. Alright, I'm going to say it's at 234. First thing I always do is put the peanut butter in, or the chocolate chips, depending on what you're making, and get that to start melting. Or you can put the marshmallow cream, either one of them. And remove it from the heat. Now sometimes if it starts hardening up, I'll put it back on the heat, or just back on the warm eye. But go ahead and dig this out, and get this melting. Everything's got to melt. All right, I'll bring this camera over here so you can see how I'm going to beat this up real quick. You see the peanut butter melts pretty good. The marshmallow cream, it takes a little bit of effort. You guys got to keep stirring that stuff to death. When I was younger and I'd make this, I guess I wasn't as strong as I am now, and I'd be beating that stuff, so every time I'd get to the point where I had to beat it real hard, I'd get my brother to come in there and stir it like crazy so we'd get it really smooth. And one time I used crunchy peanut butter because I wanted nuts in it, but he didn't know I used crunchy peanut butter. He was beating that stuff for everything. And he said, I can't get them lumps out. He said, I don't know what's wrong with this stuff. And I cracked up laughing because it was crunchy peanut butter. And those little lumps was the crunchy nuts in your crunchy peanut butter. But he didn't know that. It was so funny. So remember that if you use crunchy peanut butter. All right, if you can still see the white marshmallow cream, that means you got to keep stirring it a little bit longer. And this is the part where you kind of beat it up real good. Just make sure you can't see any white from the marshmallow cream. This is a workout, y'all. This is what he was doing, just stirring it for everything he had. Oh, that's so funny. All right, y'all, it looks like it's ready to pour in. So I got to move the camera back over here. And let's start pouring this stuff in these little containers. Alright, we still got a little more, so I don't know which. Woo, got that on my finger, y'all. It's hot. Alright, we got a little bit left, so I don't know which one. Probably the first one didn't get as much. But you just pour this in to even it all out. So you get some in all of it. All right, and sometimes I take a butter knife then. Get the rest of it off of here. Put it into one, and then you don't want it to look all messy like that. So before it starts to harden, I take and swirl it up together like this. And then you can just beat it up and down. Here's one. Swirl it around, make it pretty. Gotta work fast though when you're doing fudge. Alright. I think it's looking good. Alright, y'all. That is another wrap of the fudge making. The peanut butter fudge. Now I set them up on a, this is a cookie tray, cookie stand, wire rack. I put them up on here to cool so the air gets up underneath it. And I'm just going to set them 6 up there. Now we ended up with 6 containers. And again, if you just jumped on, this is the chocolate I did earlier. So when I pull it out of the container, this is just a little loose piece off the side. Here, let me throw that down. It's going to look like that. So I'm going to take now, and y'all said to wrap them in saran wrap and then put them in the little bag. And I think I'm going to do that. So if any of y'all's got any question. Oh, I forgot the vanilla, didn't I? Y'all don't even know how many times I've done that. But I guess because I was on camera. But it'll be alright without the vanilla because it's peanut butter fudge. So it'll be alright without it. That just adds a little bit of more flavor to it. And I've done that so many times. I should have been looking at the camera, and y'all probably would have told me she forgot the vanilla. But that'll be alright. Okay, y'all. That's it. That's a wrap. I'm going to let these cool off and get to making something else after a while probably. But this is the peanut butter fudge. Alright. I did the chocolate fudge earlier, so go ahead and go back and look at go to my page and scroll down and you'll see all the videos. And you'll see a live video for fudge. Somebody's saying, do I put it in the refrigerator when I get done? Sometimes I do, like if I'm not taking it anywhere right away, just because it's warm in the house. So I'll stick it in the refrigerator once I get it all wrapped up. Sorry I didn't look at the comments, y'all. I was busy. I panic with this fudge. It's going to harden up before you get it in the molds. But it'll be all right. But thank y'all for trying to help me. Okay, y'all. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.